Hi guys, welcome back. I'm Katie. I'm in the AICE Media Studies class, and right now I'm focusing on my CCR, and today I'll be focusing on question 2, which states, how does your product engage with audiences and how would it be distributed as a real media text? So I've been thinking about this question a lot lately, especially because my film can be seen kind of more on the controversial side since it involves a large social group. Our movie concerns Christianity, so it involves religion and it talks about sinning. So some people may feel kind of turned away as it may involve the religion. Christianity is a widely practiced religion across the world. And so some people may feel turned away because it may involve their religion. Another reason people may feel turned away from our film is because it is in the horror thriller genre, and so some people may feel discomfort with this genre as it may involve gore, jump scares, etc. However, I feel like our film does differ in this way because it's not, the usual thriller horror movie. Our film does involve a social group which is not largely represented in the thriller horror genre. And so I feel like that makes our film unique in a lot of different ways, because it's something that people do not see very often in, our genre of choice. Um, and I feel like that's very important for the way that we're going to advertise our film. Steve Neal suggested a theory which states that people crave difference in their media or else, they're going to get bored. People hate seeing, repetitive conventions, repetitive, storylines because it gets boring and people want to see some variety in their film. So I feel like that is what makes our film unique is it involves, different different topics than what people usually see. Um so I've been thinking a lot about how we're going to advertise our film, especially because we're a small film company, so we have a smaller budget to work with. So we would have to lean towards, um, kind of the cheaper side of the advertising. And a very good way of advertising our film is the way that people gain most of their media today and most of their information, which is social media. So people are on social media um, throughout their day very frequently. It's the way that many people get their news nowadays. It's how people gain most of their information on a day to day basis. So I feel like this is a very affordable, cost effective, and a very great way for us to advertise our film because people are going to be able to get that constant flow of information and constant, reminders of our film and how to watch it, where to stream it, when's it coming out, um, things such as that to be able to gain their attention and really gain and gauge that viewership from the audience that we're leaning towards. Um, Hypodermic needle theory suggests that people um, gain most of their information, from the media that they watch. That constant flow from social media would be perfect for a way to, educate people on our film and what it's really about. That way that they're more interested in watching our film in the future. Um, Another way that we could advertise our film is through movie posters, which is a very traditional way of advertising, when is the movie going to be released, etc. And you see movie posters outside of movie theaters and you walk past them and it really like sticks into your brain, especially from the graphics that are on the poster. So we have already created our movie poster and it has all of the key elements, some of the key elements that, really make our film what it is, such as the pentagram, the location, the wound marks, the title. All of those elements are included in our movie poster. That way, audiences are able to get an understanding of what our film's about before they even see a trailer. So, before I start talking about trailers, something I really want to focus on is how I would distribute my film, other than, marketing, which would get it out to our audiences and stuff like that. So, the way I would start by distributing my film is entering my film into multiple film festivals in order to kind of like introduce ourselves to major film distribution companies. And one of the companies that really comes to mind when it comes to my film is A24. And I would start by, if I got in contact with A24, I would, make a deal and sign a contract with them. So that way they would start, distributing my film on streaming platforms such as Showtime, which is where they put most of their films. And we would work out a contract and a deal with Showtime in order for them to start, distributing our films and streaming our films onto their platform. That way we get more exposure. That way our film is on a major platform. So that's how I would distribute my film to, big streaming companies such as Showtime, as I would start with film distribution companies such as A24. And then by that point, trailer production would be kind of out of my hands, since it would be under, the watch of the film distribution company, which usually makes those cuts to be able to be distributed to the audiences. So by that point, that's when our trailers would come into play, and those would start being marketed to our audiences as well. So that leads me into our next way of, engaging audiences throughout the world is movie trailers. Because since our film is so different from other films, I feel like advertising those shorter clips of our movie would be able to have the audience feel a sense of interest in our film, because it's something unique that ties right back into the hypodermic needle theory. I'm sorry, not hypodermic needle theory, Steve Neal's theory that people are craving difference within their media. So those are different ways that we are going to advertise our film to people. So that wraps up today's episode, talking about question 2 of my AICE Media Studies CCRs. And to repeat the question, it states, how does your product engage with audiences, and how would it be distributed as a real media text? So I hope I was able to explain how me and my partner would be able to distribute our media to audiences today. And yeah, thank you so much for listening.